want a correct fight, okay? Good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, 12 3-minute rounds for the Middleweight Championship of Europe.
Last words of advice from Matthew Macklin's trainer, Joe Gallagher. And a real steely look of determination on that face.
Seconds out, round one.
Similar stature, but is Macklin maybe slightly the fresher man? But Varon, as Glenn was saying, he's got some decent wins on his record, and he's had some big talk on the run-up to this fight. Macklin looked as though he was going to be heading for a big domestic showdown against Darren Barker. Back in September, Barker picked up an injury. That one's not happened. Maybe that could still be one for the future, who knows?
Well, he's in a good position, Macklin, European champion, his second reign. And he wants to perform well here. He's got a good opponent to do that against. Varon, sometimes hot and cold, but has got some decent form and has fought for a world title in the past, losing on points to Felix Sturm. So he's got a bit of quality and should be quite good defensively.
Well, he's got a reputation for being certainly resilient. Whether or not he's going to have the power to make it an uncomfortable evening for Matthew Macklin, we will see. He's got 16 stoppage wins in those 35 victories. Enormously experienced. Matthew Macklin is a middleweight. He looks so much more comfortable, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. It's certainly working for him. It was a strain to get down to the lighter weight, but he just took a little right hand there for Varon early on, just to let him know that it's a European title fight.
Fight against Jamie Moore. Anybody who didn't see that one a year or two ago, what a classic that was. What a classic.
Yeah, an excellent fight. And he rebounded back from that. A defeat like that might have really hurt a lot of fighters, so it shows a bit of character.
Well, he went off to America, worked with Freddie Roach for a while, worked with Joe Gallagher, and I think I detect that for all the moves he's had around different trainers, he's very happy in the way he works with Joe.
Well, it is good to see him settle, and I hope he does settle, because it's often a problem with fighters when they're looking at different trainers all the time. The problem's them.
Ruben Varon's started fairly impressively in this opening round. Looks very composed. It's a tight opener. He's kept close defence, and he's landed a couple of telling body shots. The one going in right on cue. The Spaniard, you can see he's well schooled.
Yeah, Macklin started the better, but there's a couple of tidy little punches just gone in from Varon, just to remind Macklin, and maybe just made him think a bit.
Cross a little bit more, all right? Okay. When he's coming towards you,
Not
don't
a lot
forget
to choose between them in that opening round.
It, yeah? Lift his head up on the second
Joe Gallagher
jab,
speaking
right?
to Matthew
okay.
Macklin.
Keep catching everything, all right? Big breaths. Good.
Varon had his moments in those opening 3 minutes, though, showing that he's means going to be easy to bowl over. He's got a good pedigree, and he landed some good shots. I was particularly impressed by a couple of left hooks which he fired into the body.
Well, it's important for Macklin to gain superiority early on. He's got to let Varon know he's the champion. That's really important, because Varon's the type that if he gets into it, if he starts to fancy it a little bit, he'll come on stronger and stronger.
He's certainly been talking the talk, Matthew Macklin. Talked about Felix Sturm. He's also talked repeatedly about Sergio Martinez, who produced that brilliant win against Paul Williams recently. He says it doesn't matter. He said, I don't want an easy opportunity for the world title. I'm prepared to take on anybody.
There's a little bit of danger in that he's talking about all those fights now. You know, when he's got to
take your eye off the ball.
An important challenge. You know, you've got to get through this. That's the only job out there, because if you don't win, all that just goes away.
A lot at stake. And another defeat for Matthew Macklin. It would be a lot of rebuilding that would need to be done. And you'd wonder whether he would ever scale the heights. That's a lovely right hand that he managed to do as he switched the attack from body to head. Nicely timed.
This is better from Macklin. Now he's starting to put some combinations together.
Keeping his defence nice and tight. Talking the talk, Ruben Varon says he hasn't got it, he's never had it, and he never will.
It's big talk.
When you come out with statements like that, you kind of put a bit of an onus on yourself to back it up.
Well, he looks the type that just goes about his business. And he's doing that now. He's putting some good shots in, Varon.
Yeah, he's trying to work the body, isn't he? And a little bit of applause from his cornerman as he landed that left hook. And that's a concerted effort to try and work the body of Macklin. And again.
He's trying to take the play away from Macklin, so it's really down to Macklin now to come back firing strong.
Got the makings of a good fight, this one. Terrific left hook from Macklin. Force of it almost lifted Varon off the ground.
That was good. Macklin throwing a barrage of punches, but Varon, he took them and came back.
Good close quarter work from both men. Referee's not had too much to do thus far.
This is warming up to a good
technique from both.
Warming up to a good fight, John. Sorry about that.
Close, competitive round, the second of the European middleweight title fight. Matthew Macklin against Ruben Varon of Spain.
Macklin throwing some good combinations, but Varon will take the shots and then come back.
Second out, round 3.
Building nicely. It's a 12-rounder, of course, championship distance. This terrific arena in Liverpool, just about filled to capacity. Part of the remarkable regeneration that they've made on the banks of the Mersey here in Merseyside, and it's one of the best arenas for boxing in the country now.
Macklin centre ring. That's good. He needs to stay there. Make Varon do the work around the outside.
Italian referee Giuseppe Quattrone just saying keep your punches up to Varon. Does have the sort of face and the sort of skin which marks up and reddens up, does Macklin. So don't be alarmed if you see that happen in the rounds ahead. Tough fight, this one.
Yeah, he's allowing himself to be drawn in close there. Got to be a little bit careful the heads don't come together and ends up with a cut.
Let's say beforehand, Nick Williamson in that corner, man who was long associated with Ricky Hatton, celebrated his 66th birthday this week, incidentally. I wonder if he's going to have a part to play. He'll be in the corner of Paul Smith later on as well. Two of them choosing to go toe-to-toe, pays your money and takes your choice. Who's landing the more hurtful punches? I think the volume, the advantage in numerical advantage, is with Macklin.
Yeah, Macklin's doing more work, but Varon looking strong and having his moments.
He's trying to work the body of Macklin. He's just got to be careful that he doesn't incur the displeasure of the referee to the extent that he has a point taken away.
A few nice punches there from Varon. Go through the left hook to the body and the left hook to the head.
There's some really good quality stuff in close here. Both of them working well at close quarters. Oh, two of them landed simultaneously with big left hooks. Again, Varon told, keep your punches up.
I think Varon felt that one from Macklin, though.
And he's been forced to give ground a little bit here in the third round. And Macklin's looking to pile it on. Switch from body to head. Lovely double up of left hooks. Now what can Varon do? His turn maybe to unload. Good shots from the Spaniard.
Nice left hook, and that eye's starting to look a bit reddened and swollen. The right eye of Macklin.
Well, he does tend to mark up. Another interesting round.
All right. And on cut close, you know what he's
Joe
got.
Gallagher in the corner saying to Matthew Macklin, you're working harder than you need to. Getting yourself, in other words, to an extent, dragged into Varon's fight.
Yeah, he is, and Varon looks comfortable. Although Macklin's winning the rounds by the better work rate on my card, Varon looks good and looks confident and strong over the long haul.
Round 4.
Right eye of Matthew Macklin, a little bit swollen underneath. They're working away with the iron between rounds. Hope that's not going to be a factor if that little mouse there under that right eye swells up. The further the fight goes, clearly that could be a problem. One thing you can say about Varon, he may not have been winning the rounds so far. You'll have your own opinion watching at home. But he does look very composed, doesn't he? Fighting within himself.
Yes, he does, and I think Joe Gallagher was right in the corner. He was saying that he wants Macklin to be a little bit cuter, use his brains a bit more, you know, do his work, then get out. Don't hang around for Varon to come back with punches.
Well, there's a classic example, a couple of good body shots from Macklin, and then he was clipped by the left hook counter to the side of the head, when I'm sure Joe Gallagher would have liked to have seen him away on his bike.
Yeah, get his punches in, then get away.
Low punches again. I don't think he's going to get... as you see, it's been said pretty clearly, I think that's probably a final warning.
Yeah. I think the referee's not going to have any more of them, going to start deducting points.
That's better from Macklin. Needs to do more of that. Oh, they're both putting in punches which were south of the border. Macklin responding in kind. And the Italian referee's got to get a grip of this, or it could get a bit nasty.
But Varon, he's looking tough, isn't he? He's looking like that he's come to back up the statements that he's made, and he wants to make a point here.
Well, he wants to fight for a world title again. And he thinks he's harder than Macklin. And he thinks he can take him. He's the left hand low.
He's doing better in this round. He's pushing Macklin on the back foot. Macklin's just looking a little bit subdued.
He's looking a bit disorganised, and that's better. Applause from the aficionados at ringside. They love that little exchange. It's high quality stuff from both men inside. That's beautiful from Macklin.
Yeah, eye-catching stuff from Macklin. Another little left hook to the body going in from Varon.
Watch your heads. Most of this fight has been at close quarters. That's where the real hurtful shots have been thrown. Varon that time beating Macklin to the punch. Closing seconds of the fourth round. Varon started it really well. Macklin's come back better in the second half.
Yep, I think maybe this is Varon's round.
Ruben Varon getting advice from his chief cornerman, Jose Garcia. And they must be quite pleased with the way that panned out. He had his moments in that round, but there were low punches from both sides.
Yeah, good little spell there from Macklin, but Varon was solid and pushed Macklin back for a lot in that round.
Round 5.
Interesting fight, still very much in the balance. Fifth round of a 12-rounder for the European middleweight title. Matthew Macklin defending his crown, the Birmingham man, in the colours of his parents' country, the Republic of Ireland.
Decent jabs from Varon. Just electing a different approach as he comes out for this round.
He's won his last 4, Ruben Varon. He's looking confident, isn't he?
He is looking confident. We hope that Macklin hasn't took his eye off the ball and took a few shortcuts for this fight, because Varon looks like he's come here to make a statement, get his own little bit of glory.
Good variety of punches again, solid body shots from the Spaniard. And Macklin being forced to give ground and pinged by a very accurate sweet left jab as well. That's a better shot from Macklin, needs more of those. You see on the far side of the ring, Kell Brook, already a winner here tonight, shouting words of encouragement.
Macklin needs to pick it up from this part of the round. Varon's outboxed him so far, done a bit more.
Work rate of Macklin just seems to have gone down a little. Whether or not that's a result of the skills of Varon, or whether he's just feeling the pace, well, time will tell.
I think there's just come the point in the fight where Macklin's having a little think in there. Now this is maybe a bit harder than he'd expected.
It's an important stage of the fight, this one, Glenn. No, neither man really confirming ascendancy so far.
Well, for me, at this little stage in the fight, Varon is looking the stronger. He's the one looking to come forward and keep the centre of the ring, and he's doing a bit more on the front foot.
He's looking for the eyes of Macklin. He took a solid right hand in there. Now, another one goes low, and he's being given time this time. Is he going to take a point away from the Spaniard? Yes, he is. He's been repeatedly warned. So the referee has taken a point away from Ruben Varon. And Macklin can be given time. Well, 5 minutes if he wants, but he's being given time to recover. And I think it's a fairly safe assumption that he was hit where it hurts.
Well, it was, yeah, that was definitely low. Yelp went out from the crowd. I think a few felt that.
A couple of big screens up on the curtaining behind us at the end of the arena, and the fans saw it close up, and a few oohs and ahs, a few watering eyes. How much has he been upset by that, though? And another one goes in low, right on the bell. Well, Macklin is taking too many of those which are outside the letter of the law. That was on the blind side of the ref. Let's see what Joe Gallagher's saying.
The openings are coming every time you use your jab and use your boxing
Let's hear from Ed Robinson, who's with Jamie Moore.
Well, Jamie, is Matthew Macklin getting hit too often?
Yeah, I mean, we said beforehand he gets it a little bit too much. He's taking flush jabs, you know. I think he's gone in there trying to make a bit of an impression, and this kid's stubborn, he's stuck in there, he's tucked up tight, and he's coming back with good shots, and he's turning out to be a real tough fight for him.
And Matthew's marking up, of course.
Yeah, he marked up early on, and it's got progressively worse as the fight's gone on. He started to box a little bit more now on the back foot and try and making the fight a bit easier, which is the smart thing to do. So hopefully he can pull through it and start pulling away.
Thank you, Jamie.
Well, that last round was a close one. Jamie Moore, who beat Matthew Macklin back in his light middleweight days, now as a middleweight, as the European champion. It is a tough fight that's unfolding here. That last round was a close one. It could have gone either way, Glenn.
Yeah, it could have, but Varon got a point taken off. So I think a 10-9 round for Macklin. Not a 10-8 round, because Varon doing quite well.
But what the overall effect is now, you just get the sense that the Spaniard at this stage is looking a little bit the stronger and the fresher. Macklin needs a big round.
Johnny's looking very determined And Macklin just starting, I sense to feel a little bit sorry for himself. He's starting to get a bit marked up. Everything's not going his way. It's a real crucial point in the fight for Matthew Macklin. He's got to dig deep and he's got to try and become the boss again.
Maybe to rely on boxing skills and speed, because I get the feeling that when it comes to the macho stuff, you're not going to take it out of this Spanish fella very easily.
No, it looks as if Macklin's coming here to try and wear Varon down, and it's not really his style. You know, he needs to box a little bit more in and out, you know, pick up the points, make a few rounds easy. You know, get the points in the bag, but make them easier.
Macklin not doing a lot as he gets in close. Varon is being allowed to fight at his pace at the moment. Macklin, the younger man, we thought that on work rates he would have the advantage. Early on he did. But more coming from the Spaniard. Inside, Macklin just covering up. And allowing Varon to come onto him. That's a good shot to the head. Got the opportunity on the back of a couple of meaty-looking body shots.
But noticeable, Macklin on the back foot more and more.
Often gauge from the crowd how a fight's going, and it's subdued, isn't it? They want to roar on Matthew Macklin. Sell-out crowd here at the Liverpool Arena. But he's got all the problems that he needs.
Well, Macklin's standing right in front of him, John, and I think Varon's quite happy to be there. Good left, right there, and this is a good round for Varon.
Well, he came in with the head behind it. Whether it was predetermined or whether it was involuntary on the back of that terrific right cross that Varon landed, I'm not too sure. And the Spaniard's looking really dangerous here in this round, but that's better from Macklin. He needed that.
Needs a lot more of it, though. Varon's round.
Anxious times. Blood coming from his mouth. Right eye swelling up. See what Joe Gallagher's saying here.
5 rounds up. Plus the finger. You give that round a share. It's only round as a share now, all right? Don't panic. You're boxing on. You can't be sitting there like a sitting duck when you're on the ropes. Move left and right. Yeah, that's right, yeah. Okay. Move left, move right. And when he's up close, there's nothing stopping you claiming him.
Well, he told him that he was 5 rounds up, Glenn. I'm not so sure about that.
No, not a good thing to tell a fighter, well, especially when he's having a hard night's work. Needs to be told he needs to do a lot more. That was Varon's round, and Varon looking strong.
Eye-catching flurry from Macklin in the closing stages. So there's the tally there. You see the body attacks of Varon. There's the advantage there.
Round 7.
Into the second half of this European title defence for Matthew Macklin. Talked boldly of world titles next year. So there's a very real prospect of surrendering his European title if he doesn't perform well in the second half of this fight. Heard Joe Gallagher between rounds saying you're 5 rounds up. The Spanish corner as well looking fairly satisfied with the way things are unfolding right now. Varon, incidentally, when he fought Felix Sturm for that world title, he lost every round on 2 of the judges' cards back in 2003.
Well, it looks as if he's learned a bit since then, hasn't he?
Yep.
Because, you know, he's beaten Macklin to the jab here.
Lost to the Scottish fighter Scott Dixon as well, going back in 2001 in the early days of his career. Obviously a very much more accomplished fighter. He's moved on and learnt, as indeed has Macklin, to be fair.
I like to see Macklin just throw his combinations, get 1, 2, 3 on, and then move away, then back on the jab and fight like that. He's either too far out of range where he's getting picked up with a jab from Varon, or he gets too close in where he's getting beaten to the punch.
And he's not throwing enough leather, is he? He's waiting for Varon to come in, and then trying to catch him on the counter, and that's a really sweet left hand from the Spaniard.
See, this is not good work for Macklin. He's struggling a little bit in there.
Well, one or two people who follow the sport closely had thought that Macklin maybe was just going to be a little bit vulnerable in this fight. Certainly going to be whatever happens, it's been a hard night. And he's starting to unload and starting to find the head as well as the body of Macklin is Varon.
Yep, he's shipping some strength-sapping punches, Macklin. Doesn't seem happy in there.
And he's being backed up, isn't he? And his face is marking up with these attacks.
Nice right hand from Macklin there.
But a single shot.
Well, this is definitely another round for Varon.
End of a round which Varon probably wins. Backstage, Nathan Cleverly is with Craig Slater.
Nathan, you are the university graduate, but a late change of opponent. Are you on top of your subject here?
Yeah, I'm over it now, you know, clear head. I'm ready to fight, can't wait.
Najib Mohammadi, is he not the polar opposite, though, of the guy you were preparing for?
Yeah, total opposite styles, but either way, I'm destined to go to the top, so I've got to outwork him in the ring, you know, work out his style when I'm in there, and I'm sure I'll do that.
I think he says he can outspeed you. Is that a big mistake on his part if he thinks that?
Yeah, definitely. He's, but you know, he's not bad. He's obviously got fast hands. Seen a clip of him. Keeps his hands low. He's quite flashy, but he's open. He's going to be open to my shots, and when I land them, I can't see it lasting the distance.
Good luck tonight, Nathan.
Thanks a lot, mate.
Nathan Cleverly looking good, and final preparations for his WBO interim light heavyweight title fight coming up against Najib Mohammadi of France. Meanwhile, here at the Liverpool Arena European middleweight title fight, Matthew Macklin is having a tough night against Ruben Varon, who on my card is coming on strong. Macklin needs to impose himself.
Yeah, this is a point in the fight where Macklin needs to dominate. He needs to take the play away from Varon, because Varon, as I thought early on, the type of fighter who, if he gets a foothold in it, gets more and more confidence, is harder to shake off. So it needs something big for Macklin now, as I've got him only one round up on Varon.
Well, that deducted point could be a key factor that Varon lost in the 5th round for low blows. Macklin maybe would get hometown advantage to a degree. It can happen. He's done better in the first minutes of this round.
Yeah, nice classic combination, but again Varon stands in front of him, starts to come back with solid punches of his own.
Tough, grueling fight. Conditioning becoming a factor for both men. They're having to dig deep here.
Well, this fight's going to prove to us if Macklin really has the temperament and the skills to go on the world title level, because he's going to have to show something a bit more, a bit special to get through this fight and come out with much.
He ran out of gas, didn't he, when he fought Jamie Moore. Was outgamed, and you get into the stage now where that stamina is going to be called into question again. How strong is Macklin? Is he got enough in the tank to repel these sort of attacks? And still a way to go. We're only in the 8th round. Good work from Varon. Still the crowd subdued. They want to roar on the British fighter, but he's forced to give ground. Landed a couple of good headshots and then good flurry of punches as they go toe to toe.
Yeah, that's what the crowd wanted to see, and it's what Macklin needs. He needs to keep this sort of work going. Needs to show grit, determination.
And Had the best 20 seconds of action that he's produced for some time there, Macklin, but he needs to sustain it and now take it up in the last 20 seconds of this round, as again Varon is ticked off by the Italian referee for low blows.
Well, a couple of those flurries have probably made Macklin a winner in this round. He tried to pick it and he did well to do that, but he hasn't subdued Varon.
Not subdued him, but he's probably nicked the round.
There you go. That's better. Good. There you go. Back on track on that round. Working smarter.
Back on track, they say.
What you got to do, mate? You got to box smart.
Yeah, he showed a bit of grit and determination there, let the punches go, rattling off a few good combinations. And that's what it needs. He's going to have to change this fight around. He's going to have to regain dominance by putting punches like that together.
You've got Macklin ahead by a couple of rounds. I've got it slightly closer. There's the punch stats, and you see Varon's actually landed more and thrown more.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Really close. Wouldn't be surprised. Well, there we are. Macklin by a couple of rounds. That's how Glenn's got it. 3 scorers, judges from Switzerland, Sweden and Denmark. A penny for their thoughts. 9th round. Varon, teak tough, savvy. He's been around the sport for a long time. Matthew Macklin has blown a few away. Remember that spectacular win that he produced against Wayne Elcock. He's heavy-handed, but he's found in this Spaniard real problems tonight. He's probably ahead, but I certainly wouldn't argue if it was closer.
Yes, and Varon, you know, was cowed in 4 last year by Sebastian Zick. So, you know, he can be hurt by punches.
Early on, I thought Macklin was showing signs of getting to him, but he's come back well and showed resilience. Macklin, maybe after the Jamie Moore experience, he still feels as though he has to try and just pace himself, leave something in reserve to get through the 12 rounds. But look, moving forward, it's Varon. He's the aggressor, and judges, I know it's something of a boxing cliche, but they do tend to be impressed by the man who is going forward. Talked about Nathan Kleffel, his academic achievements. Matthew Macklin, no slouch. 9 GCSEs, 3 A-levels. He needs to think his way out of this one, though.
Both tit for tat there with good looking combinations. I think Varon has done well, though. Again in this round, as Macklin lands a nice right hand.
Hard fight, Glenn.
It is a tough, grueling fight, which you're going to get at this level. European level is a hard level to be at.
Macklin needs to draw on those long weeks of preparation. He's got to now dig deep into the stamina reserves and try and find a way of repelling Varon as he fires in a couple of decent shots and moves off well from the ropes, which is what he needed to do. But you can see the physical demands and the effect that it's having on both men. They are very tired.
Yeah, the tired Macklin, the one who's having to move around a little bit more. He's looking to box more and more as this fight goes on, and Varon continues to march forward.
2 of them landing punches right up to the bell.
Well done.
And Varon looks strong.
Yeah, mouth smart, lovely counters on the ropes there, all right? He's sitting in the pocket a little bit more now, okay? You're catching him, he's not as quick as pulling out. So letting him counter left hooks go. And when he's coming to the ropes, he's coming round with left hooks to the side, but they're very slow, and he's staying there. You get that left hook go straight away when you feel it around that side, and let it go, bingo, 2 or 3 times. And the shot that's working every time, The shot's working every time, Matthew. It's a straight right hand, so it's got to be over his jab. Every time you're going bang, bang, and you drop it over, arch it over the
Ricky
top.
Hatton,
Time
there
and
he
time
is at
again,
ringside.
you hit him with it.
A lot of
Twice
Frank
in that round,
Warren's
you stunned him.
great champions of the last 30 years. 30 years he's been promoting top-level promotions. And Ricky Hatton, well, there's been a bit of bad blood between them, hasn't there? But in years gone by, before the split came, what a terrific partnership it was.
Sent out. Round 10.
A lot of big names here. John Conti among those. What a terrific Liverpudlian boxing hero he was. World light heavyweight champion of years gone by. So 3 rounds to go. Could be that these 3 rounds will determine the outcome. On my card anyway, not too much between them.
No, I agree with you, John. I've got it pretty tight. Could all depend on the last 3 rounds and who has the big finish, who wants it more. It's often the case. Macklin's the younger, the fresher man.
He's not moving him though, is he? He's not wobbling him, and he's not able to make him take a backward step too often. Still, he comes forward, Varon. He'd be a judge. Difficult one to score in a lot of the rounds. A lot of them have been close. Not only the fight in terms of punch statistics, we referred to that, very little between them, but a lot of the rounds have been really close. And I take you back, if you're just joining us, if you've come in late, the fact that Varon was deducted at 1 point in the 5th round for those low blows, could that be the factor that determines it? Not impossible.
Both getting a bit tired, you feel, in this round. Just getting a bit messy, and neither one landing with too many clean shots.
Last minute. It needs something eye-catching from Macklin.
Likewise, it needs something eye-catching from Varon as well, doesn't it? He's just settled down a little bit at this stage in the fight.
It's that sort of fight, isn't it? One flurry of punches either way at this stage kind of underwrites what we were saying about rounds being difficult to score. Close one, this, and a big last 30 seconds from either side could take it.
Yeah, he's through a few of the classy little combinations. There hasn't been a great deal to divide them in this one. Maybe Macklin just slightly busier.
Last few seconds of the 10th round, and like so many before, closely contested. Macklin's being told by his corner that he's doing enough, but the suggestion is that he's a long way in front, and I can't really see that.
Water.
Mick Williamson working away to damage to both eyes.
Didn't win that round. You've got to win these 2 rounds. Come on, big drive, come on. 2 rounds, Matt. Ring magazine number 5, 6 here. Come on, got to get in, turn the screw and big finish, 6 minutes. Push him back. But listen, don't be turning around, but don't be going whole big singles, understand? Smart boxing, 1-2, double jab right hand. That's what you got to do. He gets on his bike and goes. You start controlling the contest from the middle of the ring. But please, don't fall. Throw silly jabs when you bring it down.
Yeah, you see there's a little bit more panic in what they're saying now.
Not saying it's 5 rounds ahead now, they're saying 2 rounds left and you've got to win them both.
Yeah, I think it's important.
Well, Mick Williamson, the cut man, has earned his money in there around those damaged eyes of Matthew Macklin. Macklin started brightly in this penultimate round. So much at stake. Another low one there from Varon, again on the blind side of the referee. You can see Macklin wince.
Well, if Macklin can't hang on to this, he's not convincing the critics that, you know, he's ready to glide into a world title fight and win it. This has been a heavy night's work.
Well, if he wanted to send a message to the likes of Sergio Martinez, Felix Sturm, Sebastian Sylvester and the rest, not really been the performance.
No. And maybe he's just been thinking of bigger fights, and that can happen. But he hasn't really shown.
He's ahead on my card now, but not by a lot.
That's nice work from Macklin. Head and body, nice left hook to finish it off with, and again, it's a bit better from him.
Lot of acknowledgement as well, wasn't there, from the Spaniard as he landed it, that left hook into the side. Minute to go. Call comes out from Macklin's corner.
Well, you can tell he's made an effort in this round, hasn't he?
Better round than he's had for some time.
Yeah, I took on board what Joe Gallagher was saying, that he needed it. He's picked it up.
Landed flurries of punches and tried to use his mobility. And the way he's boxed in this round kind of begs the question, why didn't he done more of this? Perhaps just that little nagging doubt about the stamina, and he now approaches the end and knows that he still has enough left. He's had a good round here.
Took two nice punches there and a good combination to finish with. Good work from Macklin. He needed it.
Now, a good round for Matthew Macklin, and he holds his arms up as much as to say, I'm winning this fight. He certainly believes it, and that was definitely a good round.
He's trying to go, but he's got nothing to go with, son. He's got nothing to go with, he's bluffing, all right? But I'm telling you now, don't go desperate going
Punches
forward,
landed,
right?
nothing between them. We've got Macklin ahead, so's Glenn. By 3 rounds, Glenn.
Yeah, 106 and 103 to Macklin. The last couple of rounds have done him favours, though. It was getting a bit too close to call.
Don't be looking for the home run, all right? You catch him with great right hands, all right? All the time, straight 1-2s, nice and tight.
Tough fight. He's feeling it, no question.
Big breaths, all right? 3 minutes, and we're still European champion, all right? It's close, Matthew, it's close. I'm telling you now, it's fucking close.
Apologies for the language in the corner. Emotions running high. They know it's close, and they know it's a big last round that Matthew Macklin needs. Slow to get off his stool, Macklin. The right eye closing right up, and he looked very, very tired as he came in for this last round. That 11th round took a lot out of him. 3 minutes to retain, maybe, the European title. He needs a big last 3 minutes, Matthew Macklin. Varon still believes that he can do what he said he was going to do, that he was going to break Matthew Macklin's heart. They said in the Macklin corner, he hasn't got it left to go with you now. Varon trying to prove that that analysis is inaccurate. Coming on strong in the last round, the Spaniard. Well, Macklin believed that that big effort in the 11th was sending him on his way to victory. He celebrated as he walked back to his corner as though he'd won the fight. Still an anxious minute and a half or so before we know.
But it's Varon who's looking stronger in the last round, isn't it? He saved a little bit more. Macklin did that in the last round.
Fighting on instinct now, Macklin, wanting to go into the trenches. He's been told don't go toe-to-toe with him, don't go gung-ho.
Well, if he does get through this, Macklin, which I think he probably will, to retain his title, this might turn out to be a blessing to know what he's got to do if he gets a world title shot, that he really needs to work that much harder.
A little bit of a reality check.
Yeah, often, you know, egos in fighters gets a bit big.
Oh, good shot, 2 good shots from Varon. Macklin came back firing, but now holds on to buy a little bit of time. 2 big shots from Varon, and still almost half a minute of this fight remaining.
It's been a bad round for Macklin. That eye bleeding bad now.
He's dog-tired.
2 big shots.
Anxious moments, the clock ticking down. Macklin's eye looking a mess.
And the gum shield's out of Macklin. That buys him a little bit of time, which they need to get him through this. A desperate last round for Matthew Macklin.
He's had a bad one. The referee saying, I suspect that he thinks he did it deliberately. And now Varon is coming forward powerfully, and Macklin doing little more than just holding on in desperation and wanting to see it through to the final bell.
Yeah, he's hurt, just hanging on.
It is just survival for Macklin. If the faces tell a story, well, the Spaniard would be the winner. He thinks he's taken it, he celebrates. He definitely took the last round, unquestionably. Has Matthew Macklin done enough to retain his European crown, or has the 31-year-old from Madrid, Ruben Varon, taken the title and fulfilled his boasts? Face of Macklin is a mess. Varon threw more, marginally, landed just about the same, desperately close in terms of stats, and here's how it unfolded.
It was a fairly comfortable start for Matthew Macklin, who looked to be getting his punches off and looked like he was going to make a good defense, but Ruben Varon had not read the script, and as we thought he might, as he got into the fight, he got better and stronger and started fancying it, and it took some real determination from Macklin to try and subdue him a little bit. Maybe that's crucial, the point he lost for that low shot. But always tough, the round's very hard to score. Varon having his good spells when he'd push Macklin against the ropes, but Macklin showing good qualities, throwing combinations back. But it was desperately hard at the final bell when Macklin had to come through a little bit of a crisis in the last round just to hang on, taking some good eye-catching punches from Varon.
Well, whatever the outcome, boy, didn't they have to dig deep. Still waiting. Judges' deliberations, the tallies are being made. They want no mistakes, and an anxious wait for both men, who, while you're watching that blow-by-blow analysis, embraced each other centre ring, and loud applause in all corners of the Liverpool arena. Well, will it be Macklin defending his title successfully, or will the flag of Spain be raised? Here comes the verdict.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecard. We have a unanimous decision. Judge Guggenheim scores the contest 116-111. Judge Hook 116-113. Judge Raffin 117-111. The winner, and still the European middleweight champion, in the blue corner from Birmingham, Matthew Macklin.
Macklin wins it. The cards by 5 rounds, 3 rounds and 6 rounds. A little bit wider than we saw it, Glenn.
Yeah, and I think that says he's a little more comfortable than his face looks. And I think there was a bit of a relief for Macklin to get through that. He did do some nice work and probably just picked up the points here and there on the close rounds, but that was hard, and he's got to step up to go. He's got a couple of levels to raise if he wants to take a performance like that up to world level.
Really tough fight.